the Nexus 7 1989 extracted from Matrix 2. Deception strategies of alien races. Given the assumption there are technologically advanced extraterrestrial alien races visiting and potentially attempting to covertly subjugate humanity on Earth for certain nefarious purposes, and given the indications to this effect detailed in the Maya-related Pleiadian alien contacts, and the plausible examples of these nefarious activities operating under an easily perceived, positive and benevolent cover, which include such as those aliens referred to in the Meyer notes as Commonwealth Buffath creatures, Orion Betelgeuse creatures in the N.W. Cooper notes, and the Ashtar Shiran Sananda Herton types who have transmitted information through Solar Cross, Mark H., Guardian Action International, ASSK, to Ella, Sister Ladru, and recently Dharma, to name a few. We can begin to construct the detailing of the actual deception strategies under engagement, if we follow the hypothesis that the Meyer contact notes are essentially correct with regards to alien deception strategy, and the Orion Betelgeuse malevolence are effectively at odds with or competitive to the Ashtar group of aliens, and the Ashtar group is also malevolent and parading under the banner of Christian Savior Jesus, Second Coming activities, a very complex, multi-level, well-crafted deception strategy and tactics starts to come into view. Elements of the deception strategy 2,000 year or more set up context, develop covert alliances via positive appearing cover, factionalize malevolence into apparently opposing groups, develop and use religion as a setup, influence religious history through miracles, etc. Present themselves as divine, godly, angelic, tailor contact tactics to multiple group receptivity factors, use apparent opposition between alien groups to incite fear of negatives and loyalty to bullet positives, a dualistic dynamic effect, more than one religion, thus having relatively opposing religious group structure and influence specific non-religious political and economic groups also into multiple, incompatible factions, opportunistically influence human groups and individuals as their popularity proves to be of value, gradually transition from entirely covert to partially covert activities, i.e. select certain influential economic and or political governmental groups for overt contact, match contact tactics to fit expectations of Konaks, gods and angels for the religious, technology for the military, control for the government and economic powers, outsider, conspiracy information for the gullible and wanting conspiracists, etc. Keep believers fanatical, keep disbelievers polarized, corrupt societal archetypes about who is who amongst the aliens, incite covert and overt preparations for eventual full overt contact worldwide, influence governments and mythology and religion and media, subliminally and subconsciously to accept aliens, and then openly prepare and condition the mass populace towards acceptance of the idea, then reality of alien races, prepare alien contact scenarios for inducing fear into the populace, and thereby allegiance to the only protection from the negative aliens, that is, allied to the positive aliens, which are negatives in deep cover, gain allegiance of the populace via these above deception tactics, prior to the truly benevolent aliens having legal opportunity to make mass contact, make the truly benevolent aliens appear as being the ones only parading to be negative, decoy people fears towards the truly positive benevolent aliens, so when they do make large-scale or influential private-scale contact, that the populace or influentials will react negatively towards them and reject any overtures, reduce the apparency in human minds that there exist options beyond what the aliens can present by use of technology that in greatly advance of human Earth technology, induce the belief in humanity that aliens know better for humanity than humanity, deny there exists choice that can be spiritually exercised by humanity that can obviate the entire alien games in reality. Bullet Sit 1. The malevolent soul processing hypotheses. A best case hypothesis regarding the true intent of the most malevolent alien races interacting with Earth humanity and their intentions and goals. Components of the hypothesis. 1. Inculcation of human populace towards acceptability of aliens, a coexistence preparative activity. 2. Identification and conditioning of selected target subjects to be used as disseminators into Earth fringe and mass media. 3. Upper hand programming and conditioning of selected humans to revere aliens in a semi or direct religious manner. 4. Aliens using human religions in psychic phenomena and dimensional ET interaction. 5. Use of human vulnerability to spiritual domains and corruption of religious traditions and metaphysical traditions, as those traditions provide humanity's greatest nexus of personal influence and power over the long term, greater than political, social, and other cultural endeavor in domains of power. 6. Inculcation techniques encompassing the following: subconscious conditioning, subliminal to conscious awareness, use of archetypal images of Earth traditions, ritualistic activity, now contemporary ritualistic domains, such as high technology, God for a high technology society, emotional conditioning at a feeling, intuitive, spiritual, and soul level mental intellectual conditioning, towards intelligence in technology and advanced sciences beyond the scope of current earthly technology, metaphysical, spiritual, new mythic religion making, a modern-day religious cult creation, use of standard and advanced behavioral conditioning and brainwashing techniques, including use of fear, depression, anger, hurt, loss, love, mercy, ruthlessness, dispassion, passion, sexuality, etc., as subjective motivator media to inculcate certain conditionings and programmings. 7. Alien plan to establish inherent human social controls so that eventual overt contact activity on a mass or partial mass scale will bear fruit of acceptance and tacit allegiance, a higher certainty of social integration between humans and aliens, with aliens holding a governmental and spiritual senior position to human-developed governments and religions, by virtue of using the ready-made governmental and religious concerns and archetypal images to the aliens' own advantage. Human religion is critical to acceptability factors of alien contact on any major scale. Therefore, in this context, soul processing is a complex set of alien techniques in use to bring humans into alien allegiance at a deep, spiritualistic, soul level, thereby assuring no effective counter-tactic, mental, emotional, or physical will hold senior power over the alien conditioning of humans, precisely because the level of allegiance has been formed and programmed at the deepest conscious, subconscious, and archetypal levels of awareness in humans. That is, at the core of spiritual needs and perception of the target human subjects. The soul-level processing, therefore, is a method of conditioning humanity for any or some or all of the following possible purposes: human harvesting for seeding other civilizations, or for use as labor-creating allegiance or acceptance factor that effectively permits greater and greater contact activity to occur, eventually at a mass contact level conditioning for eventual overt coexistence of humanity with aliens on Earth, influencing government, economics, education, religion, culture, etc. Conditioning for development of newly embodied religions that work from existing religions forward to now have aliens be the heavenly sons, God's messengers, angels, saviors, brethren, ancestors, evolutionary futures, second coming, spiritual confederation representatives, etc. 2. A worst-case hypothesis regarding the true intent of the most malevolent alien races interacting with Earth humanity and their evil intentions and goals. Components of the hypothesis. 1. Compliant humans can be legally harvested for various slavery purposes. 2. Humans are effectively considered raw materials. 3. Raw materials can include humans used as a. Physical services for aliens perform direct labor as slave labor, menial chores from alien point of view as slave labor, dangerous work, expendable for pseudo-voluntary labor for various purposes on Earth bases, and effective agent for aliens for sexual purposes, alien pleasures for teaching aliens how humans are and what makes them tick. B. Recruiters of other humans indirect remote labor for bringing more humans into allegiance to aliens, for bringing more humans into understanding alien presence, for bringing more humans into awareness of alien presence, for training humans to become good emissaries for aliens for later activities, for acting as communication go-between for aliens with humans by virtue of bilateral capacity to communicate with both. C. Source of biological materials, living, blood, sperm, ovums for alien-human hybridization experiments, strategies for nutrition, for discovering means to influence, damage, control, modify human genetics, for genetic materials as stock for experiments of various kinds. D. Source of biological materials, dead, C. Plus live body parts for genetic and alien-human hybridization experiments, for alien biological cloning activities, i.e. stock support biology, or for other biological growth environment purposes, for alien bioprostheses for producing in vivo human organ experimentation. E. Source of emotional energy, living for technical learning purposes, study and experimentation for osmotic or resonant learning, evolutionary or spiritual development purposes, for parasitic energy usage by aliens for degenerate pleasure purposes, torture, causing pain as fun. F. Source of mental energy, living for technical learning purposes, study and experimentation for osmotic or resonant learning, evolutionary or mental adaptation or discovery purposes to be able to tolerate humans, for parasitic energy usage by aliens. G. Source of life force consciousness, souls. 4. Treating only 3.g. Above, the process whereby the literal soul, I, of a human being is subjugated for some purpose, would include the following steps with the assumption of using human bodies and souls for hosting alien souls and subtle bodies, a means to condition the human host body and soul to accept or tolerate alien soul and subtle body presence, occupation, habitation, a means to condition the alien soul and subtle body for tolerating human host body and soul, means to enter, implant, or assume residence into the human body and soul in a controlled and contained manner, means to functionally interface or integrate with human soul and mind and emotional characteristics for learning and acclimation purposes, and exploration and evolutionary purposes for the alien's benefit, or for the benefit of something beyond the alien itself, e.g. functional communication interface between alien and human systems. This process could be for purposes of providing a means for allowing an alien soul form to migrate from its source dimensional residence and use human bodies and souls to anchor their presence and eventual full migration to this time-space dimensionality. This process of migration may take a substantial time period of setting up linkage, anchoring, partial migration, and eventually total migration. The alien now has a body in this dimension, albeit a human body, at which time of completion the alien may, effect complete fusion with human soul, at least for the effective body life, effect fusion with the human soul for longer than the life of the body coexist with the human soul, and thereby produce some evolutionary effect for alien soul form depose the human soul from the human body, the human soul having effected its usefulness in the anchoring and migration process, at which point the alien can now fully take over the human body control functions without risk of body death or disease, effect subjugation of human soul form into autonomic only function. From the alien point of view, thus now the alien soul form has full control, whereas prior to that would have attempted to remain covertly present. 5. With the assumption of using human souls in alien bodies, once again treating only 3.g. Above, a means to separate the human soul from the physical body, a means to blind it from previous memory patternings, a means to captively contain the soul or eye of the subject, a means to recondition the soul for new particular life function, a means to captively implant the soul into a target body, a means to condition the soul with a new life purpose, a means to maintain control over the entire life function period. These malevolent aliens are intent on using human souls, in part or whole, to implant them into new bodies under direct alien control, thus increasing the ranks of their minions for advanced labor purposes. 6. The critical issue of conscious compliance is required for a human to be used as such as indicate in 4 and 5 above. Such compliance only need occur at a conscious level at least at one significant point in the process, and all subsequent compliance may be unconscious or subconscious, and therefore resisted, or involuntary, at other points in the subjugation process. This compliance can occur as a result of deceptive practices so as to mislead the subject, getting them to believe the process they are engaging is for their good, for their evolution, and is desirable. Violation of the law of conscious compliance could possibly have severe consequences for the violator, and thus even the most malevolent aliens would take this into consideration. Of course, the aliens would try to find any loopholes in the application of this law that would not bring down some karmic or police action, such as controlling the milieu of the conscious choice-making so that the chooser would have restricted information or even false information or unfathomable information. This information or truth, which would form the basis from which a conscious compliant choice would have to be made, could be itself truth that is framed or manipulated to the alien advantage. 7. The purpose and goals of subjugating human souls into service in new bodies for the malevolent aliens include as follows: using human souls as a preemptive means to populate the planet with aliens, with human souls reconditioned, since humans have first right of refusal in planetary ownership, the invasion theory, i.e. an effective covert gradient for alien occupation of Earth before other permitted occupation opportunities could legitimately occur. Using human souls in alien bodies to build ranks of servants to control other human and human bodies. The resonant control theory, i.e. humans in alien bodies can control humans in human bodies more effectively or efficiently than alien souls in alien bodies can control humans, due to differences in fundamental telepathic and other resonant synchronization and linkage characteristics. Using human souls in alien bodies, under malevolent alien control, to claim the planet after humanity dies out. The reclamation and evolutionary adaptation theory, whereby the new bodies can both physically survive in the greenhouse hothouse environment that humans cannot, and can resist diseases, AIDS that humans cannot. Using human souls in alien bodies to build ranks of ambulatory hosts for malevolent spirits to inhabit, sub-soul slavery to another alien soul, i.e. effective demonic possession of a high-technology nature, the host theory, as intermediary, as energy source, as autonomic. Using human souls in alien bodies merely as a means to build up a slavery service class for aliens to use for various purposes, exploratory, sexual, labor monitoring, etc., the labor pool theory. Using human souls in alien bodies to provide agents that can tolerate and intelligently communicate with human life not too far beyond its existing capacities, and yet still be effective linkage to aliens, colonization, and coexistence, the alien liaison theory. Using alien bodies to host human souls as an effective means to control and transport or emigrate human souls to other planets designated to be the new home of the human souls, or for purposes of injecting new vital soul energy into other developing alien civilizations that require enlightenment or evolutionary infusion, the new Christ or angels theory. 8. What is disturbingly amazing about this complex science fiction type deep dark hypothesis is that it appears to form an explanation for a wide number of previously disparate, UFO-related claims and statements and hypotheses, explains mutilations as a means to gather biological materials for cloning and biological genetic engineering experiments and alien body production. Explains subjective control and deceptive conditioning practices of aliens towards abductees to effect increasing allegiance of the subject abductees, inculcate initial mental and telepathic adaptation and sensory and emotional accommodation of alien life and life forms. Explains use by aliens and claims by aliens to be source of religions, representative of Christ, and the intent to rapture, evacuate, and transport humans to their new homes in the stars. Explains alien implantation of microscopic alien solid matter in abductees as a means to monitor and condition and record certain human soul operating characteristics, for later use. Provides a set of alien motives for repeated human abductions in the first place, and secondarily provides an explanation for a variety of different aliens apparently monitoring Earth and abducting humans and other life forms as a function of competition between aliens at the human fisheries to harvest humans for various purposes. Explains the vehement anti-malevolent statements by apparently more benevolent aliens as to the evil intentions of the malevolent aliens, and the malevolent aliens' needs to corrupt earthly traditions and religion for their own purposes. Provides a reasoned explanation for the fact that much alien contact appears to have a large spiritual component, and the evidence that aliens wish to find allies amongst Earth humanity, at least on a covert and slowly developmental scale, lasting over many centuries, if not millennia. Grays as aliens who are neutral, neither benevolent nor malevolent aliens desire to learn to communicate with humans, therefore alien contact activity over long periods for certain humans. Hybrid alien humans are more easily able to communicate with humans, therefore genetic hybridization. Humans seen as not understandable, messy on a mental level. Emotions are unusual phenomena to aliens, therefore emotive and mental manipulation and covert experimentation. Aliens are good telepathic receivers, but very sensitive to human emotional amplitudes, and therefore will attempt to contain human emotional expression so as to not be negatively impacted by it, therefore explaining why human emotive expression is dealt with in uncertain or cautious or manipulative manner by aliens. Aliens have highly developed mental powers, and so to human the experience of the alien amplitude of mental energy could be abrasive or destructive or overwhelming or sensed as involuntary by humans, therefore explaining alien repetitious mental communication attempts and experimentation to find a middle ground of acceptable or tolerable mediation and communication. Aliens may have underdeveloped or purposely attenuated emotional growth, since it was a messy arena of energy, especially telepathically, and now are wanting to engage emotive evolution and learning, and humans present an exceptional theater within which to accomplish this now desired growth, or satisfy this alien curiosity, therefore explaining the possible reason for some aliens' apparent insensitivity to human feelings. Many varieties of aliens are wanting to learn about human life, physically, emotionally, culturally, spiritually, and domains of human concern. Most life in the near universe is oriented towards the greys and ed species in evolutionary typing. Many are more or less able to even perceive human distinctions and issues and feelings and subtleties, therefore explaining the great number of different types of aliens and their interest in Earth humanity from both observational and learning vantage points. Different aliens search for resonance or suitable humans for establishing communication, effecting experimentation by law of pseudo-conscious compliance, etc. Aliens have a very streamlined, simplified life, biologically and behaviorally and spiritually, and humans present a phantasmagorical, nonsensical, disordered arena of new possibilities and concerns and energies that the aliens are curious about, even if it causes the aliens discomfort, explaining why aliens appear to find humans distasteful and intolerable, yet the aliens continue to interact with humans for learning and study purposes. In the wide birth of aliens that may exist, there is a probability of many degrees and nuances of benevolence and malevolence relative to human concerns and values. In the wide birth of variations of alien types and species, there exists the probability that aliens span the spectrum of most non-human to human or to even genetically compatible with genetic engineering controls. Aliens look for human-suitable humans that may afford communication opportunity by virtue of similar thought and mental frequencies and belief and other intellect-related characteristics, similar or tolerable emotions or emotional states or frequencies or propensities, tolerable energy, emotional or mental, positive or negative, open-mindedness or open-heartedness or common interest of human for interaction, humans exhibiting highly interesting growth activity on physical, emotional, mental, intuitive, or spiritual levels, humans who have had previous records of alien contact and therefore are considered safe for communication for various reasons, e.g., are energetically conditioned. Predictable humans are remote or physically isolated and therefore safe for communication without interference or possible violation of verifiable contact suppression law. Humans who have key opportunities or roles or destinies in relation to influencing human-alien mass contact, or alien-interested concerns or human-interested concerns. Notes. When the security lid blows, how will the government explain previous suppression? Admit wrongdoing and admit to Faustian bargains, i.e. come clean. Say that suppression was better than martial law, the lesser of evils, since it was fully expected that disclosure would precipitate social, economic, religious, and governmental collapse. Abiding by secretly made alien-human agreement or alien edicts, which if violated could have threatened invasion, therefore keeping things secret kept Earth safe, or which if violated would severely disrupt the plan or human evolution, which would be bad and cause destructive impact. Buying time to attempt to prepare alien presence adaptation packages for humanity, for religions, for education, for government, for science, for economic function. Fear and uncertainty as to the best path for information and evidence release, social adjustment, and acceptance of alien presence, belief that the existence of aliens would corner most people and precipitate a violent and warlike response to protect Earth life and culture. Buying time to develop anti-alien measures so that Earth humanity would have some degree of defensive parity against alien offensives, a catch-up quick plan, to effect real war with aliens, or, alternatively, since humans couldn't really beat aliens, to stage a human versus alien war, using humans in duplicated alien craft, or knowing cooperative benevolent aliens where humans would win the war, so as to reduce chances that humans would fear subjugation, causing social collapse, or attribute godly deification to aliens. Why the government simplifies aliens into only a few types. Good and bad acknowledgement of great variety of aliens would promote a sense of powerlessness and fear, a sense of being ganged up on, and loss of sense of easy insulation and safety. Unable to discern the varieties of aliens to any effective degree, so better to make it simple and have fewer categories than really exist, to be more digestible by humans in power or humans in general. Reveals they made pacts and agreements with possibly the wrong aliens and they resist admitting it. Aliens in pacts or agreements and interaction with government want the government to think all aliens that exist are part of, or subordinate to the one alien group. This reduces chances government will interact with other aliens and possibly compromise the goals of the aliens with which they have a pact. Acknowledgement of variety supports openness and influence to create wider interaction with more races, and that represents less control. On top of that, the government does not know who to ally with, even if current pacts and allied aliens are known to be malevolent, especially since aliens show fantastic ability to deceive and manipulate, e.g. the good guy, bad guy, but both really are bad, deception technique, etc. Before the government knows for certain who is good, bad, neutral, etc., it is better to not reveal the variety that exists. Stating variety without conclusions as to who is to be trusted and who is not will indicate impotence and inability of the government to govern humanity's relationship with the alien presence. It only aggravates the situation as being yet more out of control. Admitting variety will induce a higher or lower degree of fight or flight response among humanity, if higher then, out-of-control anarchy, if lower then, out-of-control insanity response. Both are unacceptable in that both produce greater social confusion and unmanageability of the situation. Admitting great variety might produce a wide range of factionalization among human social groups that would make government ability to uniformly ally humanity against or for aliens more difficult, since variety is an opening for multiple individualistic and complex array of possible viewpoints among humans. Admitting to variety could produce a situation where the aliens, in their deceptive capability, could deceive large segments of humanity as to their benevolence precisely because the government acknowledged that any aliens who were greys were benevolent, i.e. the malevolent race would take advantage of this, even though possibly truly benevolent rays exist. Possible uses of fear by the secret government and aliens. Possible uses of fear in the suppression of alien presence by the secret government, make people in the know fear for their life if they were to tell, reduce people's resolve to release or promote information. Generate confusion as to priority or value of releasing or promoting the existence of certain information. Use fear as a motivator to keep people allied to the government, and secondarily use fear to assist the uncertainty and inability to discern the entire strategy or truth. Make people understand, i.e. get through to them using fear as an inculcation medium. Load information to cause paranoid development response, to be fearing even that which does not exist. Getting people to imagine all kinds of horrors, fates, nastiness about the government or aliens, etc. as an expected consequence to their releasing information or following certain lines of inquiry. Induce fear by a periodic injection of threat to effectively have people gradually or suddenly lose their sense of sanity, spiritual center, security of home, freedom, privacy, etc. Possible uses of fear by aliens to motivate or control target humans and human groups, to disrupt security of current belief system and sense of safety in physical, mental, emotional, spiritual domains of concern. To induce a sense of powerlessness and thereby produce submission and effective paralysis of human action that could threaten the alien s. To see what effects and behavior are consistent with fear in observed, targeted subjects, i.e. learn about effects, causes, impacts of fear in humans, and experimental, see how they run, usage. To use fear as a medium to impress new conditioning and programming to take root at a deep level. Use of fear can motivate target subjects towards new target beliefs and attitudes and thoughts, i.e. promote understanding in a forced, controlled emotive manner. Fear can effect profound enough change in mental state and dynamics so as to reduce the sense of available choice and empowerment to such a degree that, beyond mere increased pliability of the target subject, the desire of the subject to escape the anxiety and fear energy or frequencies will translate into a desire to obviate fear through transmuting the emotive energy into its antithesis, a sense of belonging and safety. Thus fear is usable as a covert emotional allegiance and association induction technique. Fear is more readily predictable, controllable, and functionally effective for alien purposes than human emotions such as anger or love or indifference or hurt. Alien spiritual deception stratagem revisited. Humans have spiritual characteristics that are unique to humans, and humans have relationships with aspects of their own being or entities and beingness beyond themselves, such as a higher self, God, goddess, guides, etc., which all are not alien. This is natural evident characteristic of human existence and evolution and spiritual development as souls and physical bodies. Aliens who are malevolent would find it possible to manipulate the human natural evolutionary and spiritual characteristics for their own purposes, and the most obvious means to effect this manipulation would be to attempt to divert human spiritual development, subvert it in a manner to allow greater alien control of human spirituality and spiritual power. The clearest means to effect this subversion would be to produce an exteriorization of spiritual developmental relationships that humans normally evolve, away from the natural internal spiritual course of development. This exteriorization is best effected by setting up a singular or multiple embodiment of an exteriorized version or facsimile of what human relate to previously only within themselves or within all things and no particular exclusive agent or go-between. This go-between strategy if effected as follows. Get people only to reference spirit through a particularized formal embodiment of spirit, for instance Jesus Christ, Krishna, Mohammed, Confucius, Buddha, etc. Have this spirit appear and speak and perform actions and statements that are closely consistent with what humans believed previously on an internal basis or on a non-specific basis. In other words, get people to mistakenly ID this embodiment as the true manifestation of what previously was only within or non-specific. Over time and ages, based on the now exteriorized specific embodiment relationship patterning that has been achieved, slowly alter and manipulate and change the characteristics of that spirit embodiment to serve the malevolent alien purposes or goals, so that people will buy periodic staged appearances of angels, gods, Mother Marys, saints, etc. as the real spirit becoming manifest to communicate, be savior, establish exclusive dominion, and reinforce allegiance. These staged appearances are of course alien agents acting out a role that meets people's expectations. With the exteriorization of spirit embodiment, character, and person process sufficiently reinforced, have the agent promote that it will do it for you, take care of you, save you, forgive you, allow you passage into heaven only through them of course, all of which effectively removes and disempowers people's personal sovereign relationship to their God within to only function as a relationship through the agent. This process reduces the chances that human spiritual development and empowerment will occur in a manner that is out of control from the point of view of the aliens. This process creates a means whereby the aliens can easily, with voluntary and eager subjects, inculcate alien-chosen imprints, conditionings, programmings at a deep level since spiritual issues form the core of human conscious power and growth, thus providing aliens with a means to surreptitiously preempt human spiritual empowerment that the aliens might perceive could be used against them, or alternatively provide aliens with a means to gather and use human spiritual power to their own ends, which aliens have not really developed for themselves, i.e. a parasitic spiritual relationship. This may be consistent with alien standard species control approaches, which they may even be subject to themselves, e.g. the worker bee-1 queen bee-hive relationship. This allows aliens to have a most powerful means to use human religions to control and play with and subjugate and experiment with other alien races and groups who are ignorant of Earth religious contrivances. The key effect that is perpetuated is the singular exterior savior that corrupts individual conscious beings' empowerment and individualistic spiritual dominion of one's own life and reality. This can possibly therefore be an effective use of Earth and Earth religions as a galactic-level effective control tool, and humans are the unwitting agent pawns in the propagation of the fundamental deception and lie of exteriorized exclusive character of spirit. Only through me can you be saved. Thus human are only an unwitting player in an inter-alien game of power and control via this religious savior ploy. The non-interference law hypothesis relating to aliens contacting Earth non-interference with existing developing intelligent cultures and civilizations, species on planets on which the alien is not native. Only contact and interact overtly as the culture and individuals consciously request it with clear view of the range of consequences as possible to be comprehended by the culture or individuals. No interaction if it will disrupt or disturb natural mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual growth of the species, culture and associated individuals. If contact occurs, the impact of such contact must be attenuated as much as possible insofar as it may impact the larger influential context of the species' unaided, and therefore natural evolutionary course. Species can be observed for learning purposes, and limited, isolated interaction may occur, so long as this activity does not trigger an eventual cultural impact, at least as regards to attribution of the cause or real source of the external influence. Interference and intervention are only permitted, and then only in a minimal and covert basis, when the species' actions are within standard prediction thresholds of impacting the surrounding space domains in a negative manner, i.e. causing interference with other life beyond the species' inhabited planet time-space itself, whether species is aware of the probable negative impact or not. Each intelligent conscious being as a species and as an individual hold an alienable right to determine their own course of evolution, whether positive and generative or negative and degenerative in any realm, i.e. the fundamental axiom of free will and sovereign self-determination and choice. Exceptions to the general non-interference law of individuals or groups within a species have previous relations via common ancestry, soul migration, common mental or emotive or spiritual resonance or goals, which commonality is relatively equivalent in developmental evolution. If planetary body had habitation by alien species prior to the current planetary resident species, and such new habitation is not expected to produce degradation of other resident species' course of evolution and free will relative to such course. If species existence as a whole is, albeit now distant over time, is the result of the now contacting alien species, although possibly no longer genetically compatible, yet still related, and the alien species has some historical responsibility for the development or existence or culture of the resident species. If individuals or subgroups within the species request contact and interaction, and such contact and interaction can be relatively contained to the individual or group or section of society and not contaminate or become attributively impactful beyond that individual or group. If species action threatens life and planetary civilization beyond themselves, then if no other viable alternative exists to intervene or stop the actual, i.e. probable, not just plausible, threat, then overt intervention activity by the alien species can occur. If species actions and course represents a quantum trans-species evolutionary opportunity or opening or great value to other civilizations or the contacting alien species, and such contact will not inhibit or distort the fundamental growth phenomenon or its supporting milieu, then contact is permissible. If required to save or recover or salvage species elements due to species internal destructive or other alien destructive intervention action in relation to possible positive activity detailed in 6. above. Who's of alien visiting living on Earth. Ashtarians, of Earth, human appearing. These are beings which are ostensibly physical in form, appear to be living on Earth, in disguise or genuinely human, but are recent colonists, covertly or overtly executing missions or learning, unconsciously or consciously. They can be medically identical or just appear the same. You would not know it if you saw and spoke to one. Earth humans masquerading as aliens, secret government agency operations, psychological warfare operations, anti-alien tactics, social control tactics, etc. Humana under covert influence of aliens, either from aliens living on Earth, or from aliens using remote mind control, from craft or other dimensions, star people, from those people of the New Age type who are fashioning a relatively harmless identity, to real ones, to those who are trying to develop cult-following souls evolved from Earth into human form are not star people. Souls lived on other planets but have been on Earth in humanity for numerous lifetimes are also not star people. Strictly speaking, souls lived on other planets and have only been on Earth as human intermittently over the last many lifetimes. Some star people type 1 souls lived on other planets and been reincarnating on Earth for just a few lifetimes consecutively. Star person type 2 souls lived on other planets and are here virtually for the first time but were born from an Earth mother and are here with some particular mission or self-styled goal, study, learning, evolution. Star person type 3 souls from other planets who were not born on Earth but rather happened to find a suitable human to walk in and reside within, which human soul either left voluntarily or by force or lost still in the body also, i.e. possession, positive or negative. Star person type 4 souls who just visit for a while in the body of an Earth human, take it over, then release it back, usually on specific task, assignment or experiment or study. Star person type 5 beyond, that is, channeling, and the human person law not hosting the soul of any alien or entity, but rather law receiving communication from them. Aliens masquerading as humans. Pleiadians. A common source reference: Grey controlled biodrones, droids, Grey controlled MIBs, holograms, projections. Nordics, Nordic Aryan race forefathers, Code Asiana, similar level of evolution. Ashtarians, quite advanced technical. Others, certainly there are more aliens who are unconscious social plants. Pleiadians, immaculate embryo implants. Ashtarians, Jesus and Anda, Confederation. Others, aliens minding own business, isolated. Pleiadians, Kaetzel from Meyer contacts. Others, Nordics, Yavi, 8 aliens minding our business, remoted. Pleiadians, under Ashtarian command. Ramagolians, Fatima, group Earth kind descended from aliens, different races, yellow, black, white, red, etc. Most recent, Basques. 2. Humanoid appearing dwarfs, reptilian Yeti, Bigfoot, buff, gray skin with large black eyes, dark large-headed insect-like. 3. Mondash humanoid. Extraterrestrials, human appearing Earth humans from another time, Opace future, same space, future parallel world, Opace presents parallel world, Opace be aliens looking as human, cold Asians, Atibians, Ashtarians, Pleiadians, Dales, Nordics, Grey controlled biodrones, droids. Others, humanoid appearing smooth skin, Makarshans, Zargans. Others, Orion, Betelgeusines, Talls, Oranges, Comegolians. Type 2 human, Grey interbreeds, dwarfs, Harrys, Yeti type, Amos, scaly, super smooth skinned, Saurian, Satyriticulaans, Orion, Betelgeusines, big nose, medium eyes, Grey big eyes, no nose, 5 feet or more, Grey big eyes, no nose, 3 feet tall, green big eyes, photosynthetic, scaly, rough skin, reptilian, sleek nose, reptilian, with various color skins, non-humanoid, unknown. Interdimensionals, human appearing Earth humans from another time, space aliens disguised as human, aliens from another time, space projections, holograms, poltergeist, humanoid appearing, many of extraterrestrials with dimensional travel, non-humanoid, aphysical, unknown, B semi-physical, EM spectrum limited, can periodically manifest as physical, refined physical, maybe not visible to all. See non-physical, where humanoid, human at one time, never humanoid, parallel dimension, never physical, spiritual dimension.